A still photo of a preschool-aged child next to an adult. A graphic title below the photo reads, Culturally and Linguistically Responsive Communication.
What do you think was on the other side?
Grass.
Grass?
3 preschool-aged children and an adult play on the floor with a picture puzzle. English embedded captions appear on screen throughout the video.
What do you think was on the other side, Denise? ¿Qué había en el otro lado del agua?
The voiceover is identified as Marlene Zepeda, who later appears on screen.
If the child is hearing their language being spoken in the classroom, that's going to present a more warm and inviting environment for the child to feel comfortable. The Chang study was a multi-state study, and it is very interesting that if the teacher spoke the language of the child, the teacher then tended to rate the child on a socio-emotional measure in a more positive way.
A title page appears on screen from the 2007 study on Spanish-speaking children's social and language development in pre-kindergarten classrooms. An excerpt from the study appears on screen. Teacher ratings of children's peer social skills and assertiveness were positively associated with increased amounts of Spanish being spoken. Chang et al., 2007. Another excerpt reads, More Spanish language use in the classroom was also related to a decrease in children's likelihood of being victims of aggression. Chang et al., 2007.
Also, that percolated over to the peer interaction. So when the monolingual peers saw that the teacher was accepting of the dual language learner child, they would be more accepting of the dual language learner child. So there's just a little bit of research that suggests that the language of the teacher and their ability to speak the home language does make a difference for the socio-emotional development of the child.
¿Qué clase de comida?
The child from the opening still photo stacks plastic poker chips while talking with an adult.
Frutas, vegetales, vegetal.
In another classroom scene, a different teacher calls on the same child, who is part of a group of children in a circle time setting, to come up and talk about the book the teacher is holding.
Let's see who's next. Okay, be very, very quiet so Jaretsi can talk about this part right here.
The dad put it on the table and see laughing.
The speaker, in a library setting, is identified on screen as Eugene Garcia, Ph.D., Professor Emeritus, Education, Arizona State University.
When we ask parents, why do you send your child to that center or that program, or why don't you send it to them, the first thing that comes up is they speak my language there. They speak my language there.
A mother holds an infant while being interviewed. Her comments are translated on screen. She makes me feel comfortable because when I ask a question about my son, she responds very well, correctly, in the same way that I ask, how did he behave today? What did you do? Did he pay attention? I ask all that, and she answers me well. Dr. Garcia reappears on screen.
The second thing they say is, because they speak my language there, they have some respect for who I am. They must care for people like me and children like the one I have that I'm sending there.
If my son fell behind a little, she tells me how I can help him get better. And we follow up at home. All the activities that they do here, we implement at home so that he can get better every day. Marlene Zepeda reappears on screen.
One of the major prerequisites for teachers, all teachers, but particularly for teachers that are working with dual language learners where they don't know the language, is their disposition to learn about the culture, to learn about the child, to show that warmth and consideration, even when you don't know the language of the child and you don't know the language of the family, to go out and search for resources to help you, to find people that can help you understand the language and the culture of the child.
Oh, better.
2 preschool-age children sit at a table having snack time. An adult brings a bowl of food to the child who asks for some pie. The child gleefully waves their arms.
She's all better now?
It's all better.
Good. Do you want some pop?
Yeah. Oh, because I'm pumped.
Marlene Zepeda reappears on screen.
I have seen monolingual English-speaking teachers be effective with dual language learners when they take systematic steps to figure out what is working and what's not working with the population.
Credits. Adapted with permission from the California Preschool Program Guidelines DVD series, a product of the California Department of Education, developed by West Ed, copyright 2013. California Department of Education with West Ed. A special thanks to the programs and families without whose help this video series would not have been possible. The CDE logo appears in the lower left of the screen. The West Ed logo appears in the lower right.